Okay, so IELTS essays, right.
Yeah.
Writing task 2.
Yeah.
The argumentative ones. I feel like they can be a little scary for people.
They are.
Especially if you're trying to get a really good score.
Mhm.
And, thankfully you sent over this really popular YouTube video. It seems like it's got a lot of really good strategies for how to write a really great essay. And I think it'd be fun for us to kind of go through it together.
Absolutely.
And maybe see what we can learn about what examiners are looking for.
Yeah, for sure. It's like a cheat sheet to getting that band 8, right?
Totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah. One thing that I always used to get caught up on was just kind of like understanding what the prompt was asking.
Right.
I would get so excited to start brainstorming that I would maybe miss some of the subtleties in what they were actually asking.
That is such a common mistake.
Yeah.
And the video actually highlights that right up front. You need to really understand what the prompt is asking before you even plan your essay. So it's not just about the general topic, but the very specific angle they're asking you.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, they give this example. Some people believe that online education is as effective as traditional classroom learning.
Mm-hmm.
To what extent do you agree or disagree?
Right.
I feel like I would get that and then just be like, oh, here's all the pros and cons.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of online education.
And it's so easy to fall into that trap.
Yeah.
Because, we want to show off all that we know.
Yeah.
But you have to focus on that keyword extent.
Okay.
It's not just a yes or no.
Okay.
It's really about how much you agree or disagree.
Okay.
So that's a subtlety that a lot of people miss.
I see how that could be like the difference between
absolutely.
a 6 and an 8 or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Think about it. If you're the examiner and you're reading hundreds of these essays, the ones that really stand out are going to be the ones that are really grappling with the question.
Okay. So how do we not fall into that trap? Is it just about like underlining the key words or something?
That's definitely a good starting point.
Okay.
But it goes beyond that.
Okay.
You really need to ask yourself some questions about the prompt before you start. What is the core issue?
Okay.
What are the implicit assumptions behind that statement?
Mm-hmm.
And what evidence would be persuasive to answer this specific question?
It's like you have to be a detective or something.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to like look for the clues to figure out what they're really asking.
Got it. And then once you have a really good understanding of that, then you can start strategically building your argument.
Okay.
And the video talks about this classic 4-paragraph structure for IELTS essays.
Yeah.
Some people think it's a little formulaic.
Yeah.
But I actually think it's a really solid framework.
I think so, too. I've always been a fan of structure, especially when it comes to something like the IELTS.
Yeah.
Where it feels very high stakes.
Absolutely.
But I feel like I never thought about why it works for the examiners.
Yeah.
I just thought of it like, oh, it organizes my thoughts.
Well, and that's a good point.
Yeah.
But what's fascinating about the 4-paragraph structure is that it actually mirrors the cognitive process that the examiners are using to evaluate the essays.
Gotcha.
So they're looking for that clear introduction that sets the context and states your position.
Okay.
And then well-developed arguments with supporting evidence, and then a conclusion that kind of synthesizes everything and leaves a lasting impression.
So it's not just about checking boxes, it's about how their brain works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about aligning what they're thinking.
That's a good way to think about it.
Yeah, and the video goes on to break down each section of the essay and give some really good tips.
Okay.
So let's start with the introduction.
Okay.
They make a great point about paraphrasing.
Oh, paraphrasing. I always struggled with that. It's like, how do I show off my vocabulary but not change the meaning of the prompt?
I hear you. It's a delicate balance.
Yeah.
But the examiners are looking for evidence of your lexical resource, meaning your ability to use a wide range of vocab accurately.
Okay.
And paraphrasing allows you to do that.
So it's not just about swapping a few words. It's about like actually showing that.
Exactly. It's showing your command of English.
Okay.
And the video has a great example of how to do this effectively.
Okay.
So remember that online education prompt?
Yeah.
They rephrased it as, with the rise of technology, online learning has emerged as a viable alternative to traditional classroom instruction.
Okay.
So they've used synonyms like rise instead of growth and viable alternative instead of effective option.
Okay.
So it's subtle, but it makes a big difference.
It shows that I'm not just copying the prompt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It shows you're engaging with it.
Okay, cool. What else do they say is important for a good intro?
So they also emphasize stating your opinion clearly.
Okay.
And providing a roadmap for your essay.
Okay.
Now, this might seem obvious, but you would be surprised how many people kind of bury their main argument or don't have a clear structure.
Oh, yeah. I've been there.
Yeah. So put yourself in the examiner's shoes.
Okay.
Again, they're reading hundreds of these essays.
Yeah.
The ones that are going to get the higher scores are the ones that have a clear, concise argument right up front.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, you're making their job easier.
Right. It's not just about me.
Exactly.
It's about your
audience. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got our intro. We're laying the groundwork.
Yeah.
But now we need to, build the walls of our house.
Yes.
You know, those body paragraphs.
The body paragraphs where you really flesh out your argument.
Yeah.
And the video has a great framework for this.
Okay.
One idea.
Okay.
Strong example. Clear explanation.
Okay.
They call it the IEC method.
IEC. Okay. I like that.
Yeah. Easy to remember.
It's easy to remember.
Yeah.
What does that look like in an actual essay?
Okay. So.
I think one of the things I used to struggle with was finding good examples and connecting them back to my main point.
So using that online education prompt as an example again. Yeah.
They talk about using a Harvard study that shows comparable performance between online and traditional students as evidence that online learning can be just as effective.
So it's not just like a random anecdote, it's like an actual study. It's
incredible. Yeah. Okay.
I remember they had another example too, right?
Yes.
Something about student feedback?
Yes. They cited a Cambridge survey where students said that they missed face-to-face interaction and the classroom discussions.
Okay.
So that serves as a counter-argument.
Right.
To acknowledge a potential drawback.
See, I always felt like if I acknowledged any downsides, it would weaken my essay.
That's a common misconception.
Okay.
But actually it shows critical thinking.
Okay.
And it shows a more nuanced understanding of the topic.
Yeah.
So it's like, I've thought about all sides.
Exactly.
And here's why I still think this.
Okay.
And that's what they're looking for.
Got it. Okay, so we've got our idea, our example, our explanation.
Yeah.
But how do we make those paragraphs flow together?
That's where cohesive devices come in.
Okay.
So the video talks about using transitions.
Yeah.
Like, however, furthermore, in contrast, to create those seamless connections.
I always felt like those were so clunky, like I was trying too hard.
I get it.
Yeah.
But when they're used well, they really do elevate your writing.
Okay.
Think of them as bridges that connect your ideas.
Okay.
They're guiding the reader
from
one point to the next.
Okay. So they are important.
They are.
Okay.
And they come in a lot of different styles.
Okay.
So you can use simple ones.
Yeah.
However, or more complex phrases.
Okay.
It's really about choosing what fits the tone and style of your essay.
Like a little signal to the examiner.
It could be like, hey, I'm a good writer.
You got it.
Yeah.
And practice makes perfect.
Okay.
The more you practice, the more natural they'll feel.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together.
Yeah.
We've got our structure, our arguments, our transitions. What's next?
Next comes the grand finale. The conclusion.
Ooh.
Your last chance.
Yeah.
To make an impact.
Yeah, it's funny, right? You get to the conclusion, you're like, whew, I'm done.
Totally.
Okay, I made it.
But the video really stresses that it's not just a formality.
Okay.
It's a strategic opportunity.
Okay.
To really seal the deal.
Okay, so how do I do that?
Yeah.
Because I think my conclusions used to just be like, rephrase the intro and I'm out.
Right, exactly. But there's more to it than that.
Okay.
So think of it this way. It's not just summarizing.
Okay.
It's elevating your argument.
Okay.
And they suggest 3 key elements.
Okay.
A concise recap.
Okay.
A restatement of your stand. Okay.
And then ideally, a thought-provoking takeaway.
Okay. So it's not just repetition.
Right.
It's like adding another layer.
It's adding that depth.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they have a really good example in the video.
Okay.
Remember that online education essay?
Yeah.
So they crafted a conclusion.
Okay.
that summarizes the pros and cons.
Okay.
But then it suggests a balanced approach.
Okay.
Acknowledging that both have strengths.
Okay, that's way better than what I used to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, like mine would just be like, in conclusion, online learning is good.
Right.
So what makes that example so good?
Well, first of all, it doesn't just repeat the intro.
Okay.
It synthesizes the key arguments.
Okay.
Highlighting how online learning offers flexibility and accessibility.
Right.
While traditional classrooms provide valuable face-to-face interaction.
Yeah.
And then it reaffirms the stance that maybe a blended approach is best.
Okay.
Kind of combining the best of both worlds.
I see. So it's like it adds that extra layer of thinking about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, like what does this all mean?
And then it ends with just a little hint at potential future developments in education.
Okay.
So it leaves the examiner with something to ponder.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of conclusions, I just had a thought. You know how we were talking about those cohesive devices? And I was like, oh, they always feel clunky. I just realized my conclusions are the same way. They feel like a separate thing from the rest of the essay.
That's a great observation.
Yeah.
And that is a common pitfall.
Okay.
But cohesive devices aren't just for paragraphs.
Okay.
They're for the whole essay.
Okay.
Including the conclusion.
So I shouldn't just be like, in conclusion, I could say like, taking all these factors into account.
Exactly. Exactly. Considering the evidence.
Okay.
Yes.
To kind of tie it all together.
It's creating that flow.
Yeah, it's like we're weaving, right? You got to make sure everything's connected.
A beautiful tapestry.
Exactly.
And speaking of weaving, let's talk about vocabulary for a second.
Okay.
The video talks about using a wide range of vocabulary.
Okay.
But I know it's easy to fall into the trap of using the same phrases over and over again.
I used to think I had to use all these big words to sound smart, but then it just sounded weird.
And it's not about that. The examiners are looking for your ability to use language effectively and appropriately.
Okay.
So it's choosing words that convey your meaning precisely and elegantly.
So it's like a balance between those two things.
Exactly.
Any tips on how to do that?
They suggest a few things. One is to focus on using synonyms for common words. So instead of saying important all the time, you can say crucial, significant, pivotal.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to use idiomatic expressions. As long as they're appropriate for that formal tone, they can make your writing more engaging.
Okay, so it's like spicing it up, but not too much.
Not too much.
Okay.
What else? They also talk about reading widely.
Okay.
Especially high-quality essays and articles.
It's funny. I used to think that reading for fun was totally separate from academic writing.
Right.
But it makes sense that it would help.
It all helps.
Yeah.
It all feeds into your writing.
Okay. Cool. What about grammar?
Oh, grammar is crucial.
Yeah.
And the video emphasizes paying attention to things like subject-verb agreement, tense consistency, article usage, and punctuation.
It's like all those things we learned in school are coming back to haunt us.
They're important.
Yeah.
But the good news is, with practice, they become second nature.
So brush up on the grammar books, maybe get a grammar checker.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to ask for feedback.
Okay.
Teachers and tutors can really help.
Okay.
Those little grammar errors
that
we miss.
Okay, so we've got structure, we've got vocabulary, we've got grammar. But how do we know if we're actually meeting the examiner's expectations?
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, it's like they're the ones who decide.
Right, exactly. And the video really highlights the IELTS assessment criteria.
Okay.
Which is really like a behind-the-scenes look at how they grade essays.
Okay, tell me more about that.
Okay, so they use 4 main criteria.
Okay.
Task response, coherence and cohesion, lexical resource, and grammatical range and accuracy.
Whoa. That's a lot. Can you break it down?
Yeah, absolutely. So task response is all about how well you address the prompt.
Okay.
So are you answering the question directly?
Okay.
Are you providing relevant arguments and examples?
Gotcha.
Are you fully developing your ideas?
So it's like stay focused.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Coherence and cohesion is how well your ideas flow together.
Okay.
So is your essay well structured?
Okay.
Are you using those cohesive devices?
Gotcha.
Is there a logical progression of thought?
It's like building a house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Each brick has to be
is strong.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Lexical resource
Okay.
is all about your vocabulary.
Okay.
So are you using a variety of words?
Okay.
Are you using them correctly?
Okay.
Are you avoiding repetition?
Okay, so show off those words,
Yeah.
but make sure they're right.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then grammatical range and accuracy.
Okay.
That's your grammar.
Okay.
Variety of sentence structures.
Okay.
Avoiding errors.
Right.
Is your writing fluent?
Okay, so it's like show them
Yeah.
English.
Yes.
Okay.
So by understanding these,
Yeah.
you can tailor your writing
Okay.
to what they're looking for.
It's like that cheat sheet to a good score.
It really is.
Yeah.
But the key is to internalize them
Okay.
so they become natural.
Right. It's got to be natural, not
Yeah.
just like I'm checking boxes.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got the structure, the vocab, the grammar. Now we know what the examiners are looking for.
Right.
What's the missing piece?
Practice, practice, practice.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
But it can feel overwhelming, right?
It can, especially when you're busy
Yeah.
with other things.
Yeah.
But the video has some good tips
Okay.
to make it more manageable.
Okay, tell me. I want to know.
So the first is to set aside
Okay.
dedicated time for writing practice,
Okay.
ideally under timed conditions.
Oh.
This helps you build stamina
Okay.
and get used to the pressure.
So no more cramming the night before.
No cramming.
Okay.
Consistent practice is key.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be hours.
Oh.
Even 30 minutes a day can make a difference.
Okay. 30 minutes. I can do that.
Absolutely.
What else?
They also suggest finding a writing partner
Okay.
or joining a study group
Okay.
so you can get feedback from
Okay.
your peers.
I like that. It's like having a team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Support system.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to ask
Yeah.
teachers or tutors for feedback as well.
Okay.
They can offer more
Yeah.
expert guidance.
Okay, cool. Any other practice tips?
Yeah. They also emphasize analyzing your mistakes.
Okay.
So it's not just about writing a lot of essays.
Right.
It's about really looking at your work
Yeah.
and figuring out
Yeah.
where you can improve.
It's like watching game film.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Figure out your weaknesses
Yeah.
and work on them.
Okay.
So it's about being mindful and strategic
Okay.
in your practice.
You know, I'm realizing that IELTS prep is more
Yeah.
than just about the test.
It is.
Yeah, it's like building
Yeah.
these skills for
Like
life.
it's about
Yeah.
critical thinking,
Yeah.
communication,
Yeah.
being able to articulate your thoughts.
Totally. Okay, so we've covered a lot,
We have.
but structure, vocabulary, grammar, the assessment criteria, practice.
Yeah.
But I feel like we haven't really talked about
Yeah.
the art of the argument.
The heart of the essay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do we make a really good argument?
Well, they stress going beyond just stating opinions.
Okay.
It's about the why
Okay.
and the how.
So not just online learning is good,
Exactly.
but why is it good?
Yes.
How does it work?
And how does it benefit learners?
Okay.
Yeah, so it's providing evidence,
Okay.
examples,
Yeah.
logical reasoning,
Yeah. Okay.
and they suggest using a variety of techniques,
Okay.
like personal experiences,
That's it.
research studies,
Yeah.
analogies,
Ooh, I like analogies.
metaphors, yeah, to make it more vivid.
Yeah, to like
Yeah,
bring it to life.
exactly. And remember, a strong argument
Yeah.
is a balanced argument,
Right.
so it acknowledges the other side.
Like we were talking about with online learning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Show that you've considered all sides
Okay.
and that you've arrived at your conclusion thoughtfully.
Okay, so we're building our argument.
Yes.
We're supporting it.
Yes.
We're acknowledging other perspectives.
Yes.
What else?
Maintaining a formal and objective tone.
Right. No slang.
No slang.
Yeah.
No contractions.
Okay.
And avoid overly emotional language.
It's like finding that balance
Yeah.
between passion
Yes.
and professionalism.
Exactly.
How do I do that?
Think of it like
Yeah.
you're writing for a
Yeah.
respected academic journal.
Okay, so like
Yeah.
that voice.
That voice, exactly.
Yeah.
And again,
Right.
practice makes perfect. The more
Yeah.
you do it,
Yeah.
the more natural it'll feel.
Okay, this is great. We've talked about so much.
We have.
But before we move on,
Yeah.
I want to talk about mindset.
Ooh, mindset.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know that test anxiety
I
can
see.
be a real killer.
Absolutely.
Like you can know all the rules,
Yeah.
but if you're freaking out,
It's hard to think.
yeah, you can't think so.
And the video doesn't really talk about mindset,
Okay.
but I think it's so important.
So how do we get in the right mindset?
Well, first of all,
Yeah.
remember that the IELTS
Yeah.
is just a test.
Okay.
It doesn't define you.
Yeah. That's good to remember.
Yeah, it's easy to feel like
Yeah.
your whole future depends on it,
Totally.
but it doesn't.
Okay.
Think of it as an opportunity
Right.
to showcase your skills.
Okay.
And remember,
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
You've prepared for this.
Okay.
You've got this.
That's a good way to think about it.
Yeah, and focus on what you can't control.
Okay.
So your preparation, your attitude, your self-care.
Right, like get some sleep.
Get some sleep.
Yeah.
Eat a good breakfast.
Yeah.
Arrive at the test center.
Yeah.
Feeling calm and confident.
It's amazing how much that can help.
Yes. And if you do start to feel anxious, take some deep breaths.
Okay.
Remind yourself of your strengths.
Okay.
And focus on one task at a time.
Break it down.
Break it down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And if you make a mistake, don't dwell on it.
Okay.
Move on.
It's like a Russian. Progress, not perfection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think it's time for a quick break.
Okay.
And then we'll come back and dive into some specific strategies for different IELTS essay prompts.
Awesome. I'm excited to get into the nitty-gritty. All right, so those different essay prompts.
Yeah.
You know, I used to think they were all kind of the same.
Right.
Like just asking for different arguments.
Yeah.
But now I'm realizing they each need a different approach.
Absolutely. It's like they're testing your ability to think critically and adapt.
Yeah. Like, I'm not just a robot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's break down those different types.
Okay.
The video talks about 4 main categories, right?
Right. Agree or disagree.
Okay.
Advantages, disadvantages. Discuss both views and causes and solutions.
Okay, so those are like the classic 4.
Those are the big 4.
Okay. Let's start with agree or disagree.
Okay.
I always thought those were the easiest.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing there's more to it.
Well, you know, it's not enough to just say, I agree or I disagree.
Okay.
You have to actually present an argument.
Right. It's got to be like, I'm convincing a jury or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to present your case.
Yeah.
And the key here is to focus on the extent to which you agree or disagree.
Okay.
The video really stresses avoiding extreme positions.
So even if I feel very strongly about disagreeing, I shouldn't just like rant.
Probably not.
Okay.
You're aiming for that balanced argument.
Right.
So even if you completely disagree, acknowledge the other side and then present your counter arguments.
Okay, so it's like, I see your point.
Exactly.
But here's why I think this.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. So, agree or disagree.
Yeah.
Strong argument, support, acknowledge other perspectives.
Yes.
Okay. What about advantages and disadvantages?
Okay.
I always get lost in just listing things.
Right, and that's a common trap.
Okay.
But the key is to focus on the most significant advantages and disadvantages.
Okay, so it's about quality.
Yes, quality over quantity.
Not quantity.
Okay. Choose the ones that are most relevant to the prompt and then really develop them.
Okay.
Give clear explanations and examples.
It seems like with all these essays, it's not about how much I know.
Right.
It's about how well I can, like, present an argument.
It's a skills test.
Okay.
Not a knowledge test.
That's a good distinction.
Yeah.
Okay, discuss both views.
Okay.
These always felt like walking a tightrope.
Yes, because they require a deeper understanding of the issue.
Okay.
It's not just about presenting two sides.
Right.
It's about analyzing them and offering your own perspective.
So, like, I'm a mediator.
Yes.
Yeah, I have.
Facilitating a conversation.
Yeah, hear both sides.
Yeah.
And then say what I think.
Exactly. And the key here is to stay objective.
Okay.
Avoid biased language.
Okay.
Don't present one side as better than the other. Just present them fairly.
Okay, so balance, neutrality.
Yes.
Okay, last one. Causes and solutions.
Okay.
I always felt like these were like a puzzle.
Yeah, they can be a little tricky.
Yeah.
But the video gives some good strategies.
Okay, what are they? Because I always struggled with the solutions part.
Okay, so they say to start by brainstorming a range of possible causes.
Okay.
So think about individual behaviors, societal structures, global trends.
Okay.
Then narrow it down to the most significant ones.
Okay.
And develop those fully.
Okay, so it's like, what's the root of the problem?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then for solutions, be specific and practical.
So not just we need to educate people, but like what programs?
Yeah, exactly. The more concrete, the more persuasive.
Okay, I like it. This is all making sense.
Yeah.
But it's one thing to talk about it.
Right.
It's another to actually do it.
Exactly. And that's why they emphasize practicing.
Writing those full essays.
Full essays.
Yeah.
Under timed conditions.
It's like training for a marathon.
Exactly.
You can't just show up and run.
You got to prepare.
Yeah. So how do I practice strategically?
Okay, so start by choosing a prompt type that you find challenging. And then really focus on applying the specific strategies.
Right. So be intentional.
Be intentional, yes.
Don't just like write whatever.
And then get feedback. From teachers, tutors, study partners.
Right. Those other perspectives are so helpful.
They are, because sometimes we don't see our own mistakes.
Totally. Okay, so practice, get feedback, keep learning.
Yes. It's a journey.
Yeah. It's not just a destination.
Exactly.
Well, this has been amazing.
It's been fun.
I feel like I've learned so much
too.
About IELTS essays. So to all our listeners out there, go forth and conquer those essays.
You got this.
And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
For another deep dive.
Bye.